Well, hello there, everyone. He show you right here is like the seatbelts buckle, and basically that this work right here is basically talk about right here of like a like a vehicle right here, and a lot of time if it could be like say an ordinary luxury type vehicle, and with that contains about 3 or 4 or 5 different seats though, and you see right here as I would hand you the details right here of like the rear view mirrors along with the tires as well as the headlights and then the doors and all the other stuff that more likely is like be equipped with like with the vehicle. But you see right here some examples right here of like for if anybody has ever heard that before, even on the radio stations, for click it or ticket, and knowing about safety wise for transportation. And then we may warn to where a lot of times with the safety wise for transportation is that you see right here are some examples right here of photos of like the seatbelt and like seatbelt buckles and I know that some vehicles that would already have it to where that if this was right here was me in the driver's seat, but some vehicles that you do that you may have like drive if you have like an earlier model, maybe earlier than a 2009 or maybe a 2012. If it's like if Isverado or a Jeep Cherokee or any other type of vehicle like that, that more likely that you may have it to where it just the seat belts that are adjusted in place automatically. So there are some vehicles that maybe quite a few of them, maybe not all of them, would have those equipped, but then on your hand that they don't, and they say go it's like in a habit to where that it's important to fasten up, to buckle up, to I guess that they call it to arrive alive, and a lot of time I'm like even since the driver's test I can remember I was tested on that a lot of times they ask you as to where that whenever if it's before or after you start the car after keying the ignition that it's important to buckle up and then adjust your mirrors if you need to adjust your mirrors and then as well as if you got to adjust your seat and then as well as if you need to turn the windshield wipers on, and then as well as check the viewpoint, those type of things. But and I know anybody probably say by the time you get in your car and you're in a hurry to go somewhere, that there may be some things that you may forget also. And I know anybody like we weren't to where that there are some cars that maybe they may not have like what you call built-in Wi-Fi, wireless networking. So the basic car models that more like would have that type of stuff. But other than talk about like the car of our dreams is to where I keep thinking also is that whenever I do graduate and thinking about the type of car I like to have go on, especially go on a road trip. But let's just say if this was right here was me right here if I were be in the driver's side. So anybody that may wonder to where that if you're going to be in the driver's side of a vehicle and it just seems like compared to the passenger side, the passengers may think that hey, can we turn on the radio? Hey, can I roll down the window? Yeah, hey, and then there's some of them that may be a little bit rowdy, maybe in the back seat, and some of them that may be talking. And so, just like the wheels on the bus, go round and round or something like that. But goes by the stories to where between the driver and the passenger. And that's another thing too. Is like anybody that may think about it, is to where if the son or daughter is maybe going to be in the driver's side, and then the parent is going to be in the passenger side. So all goes by words to where that are you enjoying the ride already? So it seems like that this one, the way I went and drew this right here using the pen right here, I did not use no pencil just to draw these right here, but if this was right here was example right here of me, this right here was me whenever I was in the driver's side. This one, this sketch right here would have been me right here, like as like a man in the passenger side, in the back seat. So I know that the way I went and drew this is if I were to be, getting ready to dozing off to sleep. So anybody that may want to where that, any road trips that you remember going on to, I'm like, yeah, between first airplane ride or first boat ride or anything like that, and anybody that may want to where, yeah, that may bring you back a lot of memories. Maybe going fishing or maybe going boating on the lake or on the river of some sort, but right here, knowing about anybody that may warrant, to where that really about what are your plans maybe after you graduate, or anything planned for like maybe a summer vacation or anything like that. So we weren't to where, especially on our insurance plans, to where a lot of stuff that camping trips or anything like that, road trips that may not be paid for and planned, but let's just say if they are, then it's like they say, for safety precautions, is to where that, yeah, that, on a vehicle that they ask you to buckle up, for safeguard, and you may have heard that before, click it or ticket, but, and then as well as like a rear view mirrors, and then, the safety of the vehicle especially. So, thinking about is to where that the things that may look pretty safe on the car right here, but unlike anybody that may say, yeah, maybe a few scratches maybe on the door or maybe on the handle, or maybe something going on with the headlights or something like that. But anyway, but you have right here's a sketch right here I want to put together right here of me right here. So let's just say if anybody were to be on a cell phone or any sorts, or maybe in the car they had like a built-in TV, monitor or anything like that where you can watch movies on. So anybody say that whenever you're in a car, if it's going to be maybe in a cargo van or maybe a pickup truck, that they say a lot of most cars, it's like I heard even like the Tonto Nano that had it to where that some cars that may not even have seatbelts, or that they have the seatbelts, but just thinking about it to where that they would have like that I did not draw it, but they would have like the handle. If most of us have seen that before, I can maybe draw that with the pencil tool, but go ahead and draw right here. Go ahead and use like a little color right here, and then there'll be like a little handle right here. Like if there was on the passenger side of the car, there will be like a little safety handle right here. So anybody that wants to wear that, yeah, that a lot of times that passengers, that they may feel safe, having those around, and they're thinking about is to where that, yeah, that have a handle like that, and you're like warned to her about that. But anyway, but here right there's a handle. But anyway, but knowing about with this handle right here, and you're like warned to where half the time that with the handle right there, but with the seat belts though, that with the seat belt that you see right here, is it they say is like, yeah, they know about how to buckle up for whenever you're going to be going on road trips, and you might like wonder to where that, yeah, well, the car more likely is going to weigh more than compared to the passengers or to the driver. But yeah, just thinking about it, to where that this right here, that this right here, anybody that may want to where if you like go on a story to where that anybody think about it, especially like on the weekends, to where that if you want to talk about a story back when I was young, that if I want to speak from my own words about talking about a story, to where that being in the passenger in the back seat, and then going on a road trip, and then I wind up falling asleep, and then after about maybe 2 hours later or so, it's like that we finally made it home, or if you're driving back from the airport or some sort. So the way I would do this is if I were to be maybe asleep in the back seat. So back then it could have been maybe the parents who would have been driving, or if it was somebody I was driving with, and maybe been fell asleep in the back seat, and thinking about as to where the things that you may remember even though if you were asleep. But yeah, right there is an example right there. Anybody say that, yeah, you're going to be falling asleep while you're on a road trip, but thinking about as to where that for the media attention as well. But you have right here is like with me right here in the driver's seat, and you're like warned to where that seems like there's a different story between being in the driver's seat and being in the passenger seat, and one of those for being in the driver's seat is to where that the driver, they say, is, yeah, you really got to concentrate on what's going on all around you, such as the blind spots, and as well as if there's any construction sites, and as well as for any curves you're merging onto the right lane, as well as you going eastbound or westbound, and then the weather conditions. So if it's getting ready to rain or storm or something like that, you have your windshield wipers turned on, and So there may be quite a few things that you can't be aware of, a lot of things, especially if you're going to be the driver. So that it seems like to where that being in the driver's side, that the things that more likely the driver may see or may be aware of, compared to like the passenger that may tell you, hey, turn left here, turn right there. So whenever we're going to be in the car right here, and you have right here is a kid in a booster seat, as well as a passenger on the right side here in the back seat, and we're like warned to where that some people that may think that that have a seatbelt on, that there may be a kid that may want to take the seatbelt off if they want to move around, if they want to stretch or something, or they're trying to pick up something from the ground or from the floor or anything like that. So I know that a lot of times, I have my rules too, to where if I'm going to have other passengers in my car, in my vehicle, because I know most insurance plans would probably say is to where that one of the most important things about being as like the passenger inside the car, you may be going somewhere, they may offer to take you somewhere, but then they ask you, it's required to buckle up for safety. And buckle up tight and making sure that everybody's all fastened in position, and as well as for going on continue for their journey. So we may think that a seatbelt, more likely the seatbelt is too tight. I don't want to put it on until somebody adjusts it for me or anything like that. They don't know how to get it on. But on the other hand, that there may be some cars to where that get into the driver's side, get into the passenger side, like the driver's side also, and you're like warned to where that buckle up, because or it's like, yep, well, the seats, the way the seat works is to where that you would just it automatically straps you in. What you really need to do is just making sure that you release the parking brake and all those other things. It's like especially the ignition as well as the transmission, and then checking the mirrors and then the blind spot whenever you're putting the car in reverse. So and as well as for drive. So we were to where that a number of reasons to why that they, as you say, is to where them whenever especially if it's going to be a rainy, cloudy evening, that they ask you to have your headlights on. But the way I think about that with seatbelts, though, is that we're looking at these seatbelts right here for the directions about for seatbelts buckle, is that for like click it or ticket, and knowing about that there are some states that they say that it's required to have your seatbelt on. They say no matter, they say, yep, well, no matter if you're only planning on driving about a quarter of a mile or maybe park somewhere, that they say that it is important in knowing about, and then that's another thing too, to anybody that if anybody asks me to is, talk about, whenever the car is in park, is to not leave your kids out in the car, especially on a hot day, like today. It would have, here in parts of Missouri, I would say it would be about 83 degrees or so since it's summertime, 89, something like that. It was a pretty hot day, so heat advisory or anything like that. And they would say that, yep, make sure that your kids have access to any cold drinks, and as well as that they're around shaded area, that it's not so hot in the cars, especially. And if anything, that they say to you that if you got to bring your kids with you. But I know that there may be another rule about that too, but especially like on the insurance though, like with the car, if you're going to have a car and you're going to have enough room for a number of passengers, the one thing to think about is to where that these passengers, it's one of them in the back, one of these passengers in the back, that they may be distracted, maybe a phone call, you may think that being in the driver's side, oh well, you're going to go ahead and take a phone call, you're going to go ahead and maybe brush your teeth, or any turn on the radio. You may get distracted a little bit, and anybody that may warrant to where that that a lot of times whenever you're driving you may get distracted a little bit, and then I guess ways of how to prevent any type of distractions, and some that may say is to where that to drive slow and try to stay in the right lane, and then as well as checking your mirrors and in your rear view mirrors also. But this right here will be was an example right here. This was right here was me, like if I was in the back seat right here, about ready to doze off. So this would have been me right here whenever I was young. So, and if anybody want to say is like to tell a story, maybe a dream that you may have had about going on a road trip, and you're like wondering to her, okay, where are we going? Okay, it's like by time for a rest stop, but if I can remember right, a lot of the road trips, a couple of them that I've been on back whenever I was young, if I can remember right, they had those steep roads as to where that you would go up a road and then you would steep back down, and I can remember that you can kind of feel your blood, kind of rushing back and forth, in your arms and your legs, but. On your hand, at all those other type road trips, and sometimes that those roads feel kind of like a little bit like a roller coaster. But the way I think about though is like, yeah, important to buckle up, safety as well as for anything that you're planning on going, for any type of road trip wise. That it's important to know about these steps about for buckle up. The seatbelt buckle is that this right here, like that. Will be like an example right here of the steering wheel on a car, so it's like on the driver's side. Now I think that there's another, I think it's Britain or Brazil or some country to where that the driver's side is on the opposite. The driver's side would be on the right side, I think, and then the passenger would be on the left side or something like that. So it would be on the reverse sides, and so it's like thinking about it, it's like if you're going to be on the driver's side, and we may think though that yeah, whenever you're going to be on the driver's side, and you may be able to drive very well, even though if you're talking to somebody, maybe listen to the radio, you'd be able to recognize the street signs as well as how the weather conditions are. Maybe if you're planning on going shopping with somebody, or maybe driving to work and talking over the phone or some sort. So even though if we've done this many a times, that I just really think that, yeah, it's important to keep concentration on the driving, especially. It's like trying to, if there, for any other distractions, and if there are, then try to, it's like, if you gotta, drive slowly, and as well as like stay in the right lane, and as well as if there's noise going on, and some states that they have it to where there's an ambulance going by or some fire truck, they ask you to merge to the left or to the right, and slow down so they can get through. So I know a lot of times, like especially on the insurance plan, and you're like Warren to where the driver more likely, then it talks about the coverage that more likely the driver has, but then as well as the passengers. So we may think that having a car that you have more freedom now to be able to go places, right? But then on your hand, that you're like Warren to where that from your insurance plan, that people that may not respect you, where that they ask you please do not smoke in the car, and they ask you to please buckle up tight or something like that, or that if it's anything about that they need a certain amount of leg room. But if there's going to be other passengers in the car, it seems like maybe 20% of it is going to be as to where that those passengers that they ask you to do something or turn something on, can you turn on the panel light or the overhead light or something like that, or can you turn on the radio? So, and I know that anybody that as soon as you start driving, that somebody that may ask that, can you turn on the radio? Can you turn on can we turn on the TV? And so they're gonna maybe go, open up the glove compartment. They're gonna maybe open up the compartment, maybe in the back seat, and then maybe look at some things in the back. But still, that something to keep the passengers entertained. That the road trip is going to last for about maybe 30 minutes or so. If you're driving out of town, especially, I think it's important to where, it's like for safety wise, is to where buckle up tight, and is making sure that you have the supplies that you need, before you continue on your journey, such as making sure that everything is all adjusted correctly and have plenty of water, especially in the summertime. But other than that, I'll talk about for seatbelts, buckle, and then knowing about, you have right here's example right here of a seatbelt. So the way that how it works, you have right here's the buckle, and then the way that the button, you think the fastener, I guess if you want to call it, the click. It's like every time you hear that click, it's like knowing about that it's fastened in place. So yeah, right here is the pictures right here, as well as safe driving for everyone. But other than that, top us, the seatbelts buckle. Thanks for watching, Matty Mc25. Have a great day.